Hey sis, welcome back to my channel where I love to talk about all things mindset, us walking in our purpose, and authenticity. So today we're going to talk about the imposter syndrome and how to overcome that in order to push to our purpose. So the imposter syndrome and how to overcome that in order to push to our purpose. Now this is one that I actually had to look up because I did not realize that imposter syndrome has actually been a part of my life. So what I gathered from studying is the imposter syndrome is when we doubt our success and our ability after we have had success, after we've overcome struggles and challenges, after we've accomplished many things. It's like you feel as if it's inadequate, as if you're showing up as a fraud, it said, and as if your successes are not attributed to your capabilities or your gifts, or that it just happened by happenstance. So what I'm gathering and what I've realized is that imposter syndrome comes to deviate us off of our purpose and causes us to have a low self-image of who we are, whose we are, and what we're capable of doing with Christ. So when I think about this, I have a friend that comes to mind that's very gifted and very talented in what she does. However, I am noticing actually now as I'm doing this video that she doesn't really execute a lot, or she hasn't been in the past, although she feels like, and it's obvious that she's very gifted, but there has been something that has been alleviating her or detouring her or causing her to stagger to get those things done that she knows that she's capable of doing to create an extra stream of income, to create help and, be of service to the people of God. But for whatever reason, outside of procrastination and all of those things, I believe it may be because of the imposter syndrome. Now, if you're someone like that, like if you can put yourself in those shoes that I just explained, if you know that you have a gift, but you're not executing, it could very well be because you have an imposter syndrome, because you feel that even though you have the gift and you know that you can do it, something inside of you is telling you that you're a fraud. Something inside of you is telling you that you don't have the gifts and capabilities that you do indeed have. I also think that the imposter syndrome has a lot to do with our belief, the belief in ourselves, and then most importantly, the belief in who God has created us to be and what we're able to do in Him. With the imposter syndrome, and for us, I would say, we have to, for one, believe who we are in Christ. We have to believe that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. We have to believe that we can do all things through Christ who gives us strength. And I believe when we take up that belief of God's promises, imposter syndrome will be booted out of our lives. Not to say that we won't ever feel inadequate or that we won't ever feel that our successes are what they are, as if we'll constantly downplay our successes. Not to say that will never happen, but if we began to affirm ourselves according to God's promises and speak, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am a great representative of God. When we begin to speak those things, that will in turn change our mindset. That will alleviate that negative mindset, that imposter syndrome mindset, and it will cultivate a positive belief mindset within ourselves. We all know that the enemy comes to take us off course. He comes to keep us away from our purpose because he knows that if we are walking in purpose, we cannot be messed with. He knows that if we're walking in purpose, that we're going to rally up more of God's people. We're going to have more Christ followers following us. He knows that he's going to be he already knows he's on the losing team anyway, but still, he's very well going to know for sure once you start walking in purpose that he's on a losing team, because once we get in purpose, all of the people that are assigned to us are going to flock to us. And what does that mean? They're going to flock to Christ because we are Christ followers, and we're going to lead them to Christ because we're walking in our God-given purpose. The enemy is always going to try to come to create that imposter syndrome within inside of us. However, we don't have to accept that because we know whose we are and we know who we are in Christ. So I want you to leave this video today moving forward. Actually, right now, let's do it right now. And when you get off this video, move forward each and every day, declaring, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I am fearfully and wondrously made. I am fearfully and wondrously made. And so I want you to begin to declare and decree those things over yourself each and every day, because that is the truth. You feeling like you're a fraud or you feeling like your successes are not credible because of your lack of belief in yourself, that is a lie from the pits of hell, and we're not going to accept it. So let's have a conversation in the chat. Let me know in the comments if you've ever felt, or you know for sure that you have had an imposter syndrome journey in your life. I'm aware that there are a lot of women that do experience this imposter syndrome. If that's you, if you know somebody, or if that's you, put it in the comments and let us know how you've been able to overcome that. Let us know how you're dealing with that. Let me know how this video has been able to help you to identify that, to move forward. So like I always say, make sure that you speak life into yourself on a daily basis, and speak life into at least one other person today. And until next time, be blessed and have an awesome week. Okay, let me get my stand because my hand is not going to be able to hold this camera up too long. All right, so this should be good. I'm just going to rest it on my knee.